Marcus, I'm going to record this session, and if you join in during the session, that's great. If not, then what I can do is I can put this out to a video for you and send this off to you so you can look at this at a later time. So I'm not sure, you might have gotten caught up on something, but it is 3 o'clock now, so I thought I'd get going on some things here and videotape this and record this before I can send this off to you. So here we go. So a couple things. I'm just going to show you, a quick PowerPoint to give you a better understanding of MobileFrame itself. How long we've been in business, where we are in business and such, and kind of go from there. And then I'll show you a couple different components. I know that we talked about some dispatch components, some ELD, and some DVIR tracking components. So I have a dispatch application that I will show you, and I will show you our latest DVIR application, vehicle inspection application that we have also on my iPad here, and walk you through that process. And then at the end, really kind of show you the platform itself, so where you can make changes and deploy those changes to the app and have those go back and forth based upon that. So jumping in here, MobileFrame, we've been in business since 2001. You'll hear us talk about the ease of use and rapid deployment. So we're a code-free application development tool deployed across 51 countries globally, running a very mature product. Our 6.4 version is available right now, 16 years in the market, over 2,200 deployments. We're headquartered out of Los Gatos, California, which is our main headquarters. I'm personally based out of the Eastern time zone, and kind of manage the Canadian and East Coast market based on that. So just a little bit about the mobile app architectures that we'll talk about. The one app that I'm going to show you is a native application today, but that could very easily be a web application. I'm actually going to show you a web dashboard for management that they can look at inspections and some different things to that nature. But you have the ability to basically use MobileFrame as a single platform for all of these approaches. So whether that's a web desktop type of application for management and kind of tracking of ELD, the logbooks, or some dispatch functions, etc., or a native application that runs out in the field and can run in a disconnected or a connected mode. So the big difference between those two is a native can still work if I don't have a connectivity, internet connection, whereas a web application requires an internet connection for you to go through the application and gather information and complete the steps based upon that. So what we're going to show you here is the ability to utilize MobileFrame as the complete platform for all of those different approaches without a single line of code. So some of the things you can do and some of the things we see with our customers is kind of this 360-degree view of what we can manage within our development platform. Customers can utilize what we call a customer portal. So you can create your own customized portal where customers can call in, look at job tracking, change service dates, whatever the scenario may be in your situation. You can kind of manage that and make those changes where customers can log in and understand a little bit more about their deliveries that are going to be happening. Dispatching functions, I'll show you the dispatching function that we have in place and how we can schedule jobs, gather the appropriate information, utilize the proper resources, etc., through a dispatching function. We'll spend a lot of time on the mobile apps, so I will show you a DVIR inspection application and some of the things you can do with that, and vehicle repairs, reviewing inspections, etc., accident reports, all of those different things that come with that can be created and managed within the mobile workers portion of that. And then management. So, the ending of this, all the data that's been collected, whether that's through dispatch, whether that's through the drivers in the field, all of that information is collected and can be viewed in a management type of portal. So it's real-time information, different statuses of things. You can manage the business more efficiently. And again, real-time information. So a lot of capabilities with the platform in terms of how you can manage that. So a couple of our customers, you can see we have some very large customers. We actually are in the transportation industry with Irving. Irving is probably one of the bigger customers in Canada, and has Midland Transport that we utilize, that utilizes our solution for a lot of different needs, and manage a lot of the different needs in the transportation industry based upon that. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you, give you a quick overview on that. I'm going to switch gears here now, and I'm going to jump to the dispatch menu. So what you're looking at is my desktop, my Windows desktop. So this is a Windows desktop client that we've created to manage some different functions. So if you have a laptop or any Windows-based type of environment, you can run this application off of that environment and make changes to this application. And I'll show you a couple of those things. But these are things that we have, again, ready to go off the shelf. And you can utilize these as your base, and you can make changes to this to kind of fit what you actually need to kind of manage. So you can see here some schedule, some icons again that can be added to. You can, if you're not utilizing GPS tracking, you can take that away. You can put your logo at the top. There's a lot of things you can do to kind of manage that. So, in our function, we have the ability to schedule dispatch. We have what we call location management, so we can edit different locations for pickups and deliveries, and send different types of confirmations once those deliveries are made based upon that. We can manage our customer database here. So if we add new customers, I can add a new customer down below here and gather that information, email address, billing methods, all of those different things, log on password to kind of manage their log on to the customer portal if you have that in place. Billing rates, etc. So there's a lot of different things you can do here to kind of save that information and kind of manage your new customer base based upon that. Things like customer management, automatic invoicing. So if you wanted to do some invoicing from here, you could have that as part of your solution. I'm not sure if that's something that you would manage from there. Employees. So if you have different drivers that are managing different types of things, and you can actually utilize the employee management screen to kind of help manage some of those features also with different drivers and such. And then our GPS tracking portion here. It may take a little time here to bring up, but yes, here it comes. So this is a great tool to kind of understand, where your different resources are. So if you had different drivers out in the field and you wanted to understand their locations, you could actually pinpoint them on a map. And, you can have different markers, static markers of the warehouse, different pickup locations, etc. A lot of things can be managed here. You can do breadcrumb trail tracking. You can do geofencing. A lot of the GPS components can be utilized within this and track the drivers real time if you needed to kind of manage that from there. The other thing is the last thing here we'll touch on is the scheduled dispatch piece. So this is kind of a scheduling tool here. This main screen can be customized again to feel and look how you want it to. So this can be if there was multiple dispatch functions already for a particular day, then you'd be able to see that information here listed on the screen, and you can filter that by date and so on, and filter it down by different driver, etc., and understand the different filters that you can utilize to kind of manage that. But if I had a new dispatch function that came around, then I would be able to go through and I would be able to select a certain user, or a certain name that's unassigned, and start filling in the information that I needed to. So the customer that I'm picking up for is ABC Equipment. I can establish a time in the morning. I can establish a pickup date, pickup location, destination location, etc. So there's a bunch of different things you can kind of manage to kind of help create that dispatch function. So we'll create a dispatch based upon the information that I've just selected. And now back on the main screen, you can see that John Doe here now has a pickup for 6 a.m. At pickup location, drop-off location, and it's been dispatched. So the status of this is it's been dispatched, etc. So you can create reoccurring dispatch schedules if you wanted to kind of manage that. But basically, if you had new information coming in, you could actually update the dispatcher scheduler and kind of manage it from there if you wanted to. So that's a very simple dispatch type of function. A lot of the dispatch functions will carry forward to the mobile devices. We utilize this dispatch scheduler for our courier app, but I think you guys are looking more for, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, if you're looking more for a mobile type of application for proof of delivery and things like that, then obviously I can show you that information. But I wanted to spend more time on showing you the dispatch functions and some of the things that you can do. And in addition to that, show you the mobile application and the different components to that. So I'm going to switch gears here now, and I'm going to show you the actual DV application. So this is an application that is running on my iPad. This can run on an iPhone. This can run on an Android phone or an Android tablet. Different form factors, so different size tablets, different size phones. It can all be managed on those types of devices, and you're writing one application to go across all of those. So you don't need a separate application for an Android phone and one for an iPad, iOS iPad. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this one application and kind of manage that from there. So what you're seeing here now is kind of the main menu, but you can go through a whole logon process with this and log off. So when people log on to the device, they're actually logging in as their username, and it would only bring up the applications that are appealing to them. So if there was a DVIR inspection app and maybe an electronic log application, then they would be able to see those applications and toggle in between those applications and fill in the appropriate information based upon that. So let's walk through the DVIR app. So what we've done here is we've given you the ability to do multiple inspections for multiple vehicles. So you can have a drop-down list of the different vehicles that you've selected, and then you can actually add pictures to those vehicles. So it'll automatically bring a picture up. It'll keep the last odometer reading for that particular vehicle. It'll give its current location, GPS location of where that particular vehicle is located, and you can have them key in information based upon that. What type of inspection, whether it's a pre or post-trip inspection. And on the bottom here, you can see that I've started my inspection. I'm ready to begin my inspection, and we have a little progress bar at the bottom. So when it's at the end, then you know that you've completed the inspection. And you can continue on from there. So I'm going to begin my inspection, and you can see here that I have defective and in the RR column, and basically can create as many of these different questions that I need to answer as I do my inspection. So you can see some of them are critical. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to click on certain fields here, and I'm going to be able to go through and say my brake inspections are good, connections are good, my brakes are good, my coupling devices are good, my doors all work, my hitch is good, my landing gear, my lights are all functional, reflectors, roof, etc., straps. So I can go on through here, and if I wanted to say something is wrong, one of my tires is wrong or whatever, or is defective, I can actually take a picture of that tire. Obviously, I'm not in front of that vehicle, but you can see my laptop here. Take a picture of that and include that if I wanted to. I can add other photos from my camera if I wanted to add those particular photos to the camera. I can annotate over this particular picture, so I can draw and point to certain things on the picture and save that information. There's a lot of things I can do to kind of manage that. So when I'm done with saving that picture, it's part of that. I can put in comments here. Tires are bold. And I can hit next, and I can save that information or complete this inspection. So what this kind of gives us is 0 critical failures reported. So it's kind of giving us a graph of the condition of the vehicle as satisfactory. So I can override this, and I can set different parameters or thresholds in the system that if I have so many fails that I would be able to not continue on, basically, and I'd report this back to a supervisor based upon that. But here I can kind of see that I've passed 4. I had 1 defect. I made a note on that and took a picture. And I had required repairs that were required, 11 that were required repairs. So, I can kind of manage it based upon that. So I can sign off on that, save that information. You can see here in my status bar now is done. So when I hit complete or done, it kind of brings me back to my main menu here from that portion of it. So now I'm switching gears. So I did my vehicle inspection. I'm out doing my deliveries or whatever I'm doing to kind of manage that today. I would come back in. I would do a post-trip inspection if that's something that's required. And I'm saving this information for I can look at this at a later time. If I get pulled over, do I have my inspection reports handy? All of those things will be available by just clicking on the review inspections. I can do it, based upon dates, based upon vehicle numbers. So I just did 02, and these are the different inspections that I did. If I wanted to go into these inspections and understand a little more detail, then I would be able to go in there and look at the detail of what requires repair, what's defective, and so on, and be able to go through and see any of those pictures that I may have taken and such to kind of manage that process. So that stuff's at my fingertips. I'm able to keep infinite number amounts of inspections if I want to, and then have those be able to filter through by dates and certain things like that to be able to show that on the spot. From that particular area. So now from the driver perspective, obviously I've created some work for the guys in the repair shop. So the vehicles that need repair, I can also identify and use this same application for a repairman in the actual garage to kind of understand that information. So here, as a mechanic, I can come in here and I can select the vehicle that I'm going to work on, and I can see all the defects versus the require repair information here, and I can go through here and say that, this has been fixed. I fixed this. I went through and I fixed all this information that I had here that was available, and I can sign off on some of those repairs if I wanted to. Type in my name. Sign off on that, and I can submit that for. So 9 of the 14 issues were repaired, and it gives me a kind of a warning message. Do you want to continue to proceed anyways? And I can say yes to that. So then I can see the vehicle details. So if I wanted to drop down that vehicle detail, understand some of the vehicle itself and different information on them. And again, this can be modified to how you want that to be reflected, but gives me odometer reading, can give me a bunch of information based upon the selection that I have for that, and kind of manage that information from there. I can also do reporting of accidents. So I can say, this was in an accident, and I can email a report to this certain driver. I can do an auto lookup of my GPS location where I was, severity of the accident, was anyone hurt? No. Is the truck drivable? Yes. Action required, notification only, and I'm taking a picture of that accident based upon that, from that. Use that photo. Again, any of these photos that I take can be annotated on. So if I wanted to draw on that particular photo, more particularly of the certain location, of where the accident is, I can kind of manage that and save that information from there also. So I'm kind of back to the main menu here. But that's kind of a high level overview of the DVIR accident, or sorry, the inspection reports and some of the different capabilities you can utilize within that. And again, those questions can be modified. The app in terms of how it looks can be modified. So if I don't want to see the vehicle repairs or vehicle details of that information, I can take those icons out. I can really define this to, say map logistics. If you have icons, all those different things that you want to see, we can really customize this to reflect more of your business requirements than some of the other things you may have. Some of the great tools that I'm going to drag over here now. Give me a second here. Some of the great tools also that I'm going to show you here is the ability to utilize a web portal. So this is a portal where management can come in and sit and look at different types of inspections that have been completed, look at different inspection dates. So if I was to refresh this portal right now, let me just log back in here, sorry. So this is more of a back office type of feature where people can go in here into the portal and log in as like the management group type of thing, and really see a lot of the information. So I'm going to drag this back here and share my other screen here. Hang on a second. So kind of what you're looking at now is the ability to create, again, a web portal. So this is a URL, so I can access this from a desktop as long as I have internet connectivity, Internet Explorer basically on there. And I'm going to be able to see different inspection dates. So this is a management portal where inspection date for today, you can see that I had a vehicle 001. The driver did that okay, and it was okay. The one that we just did, 002, was another driver, and that was okay. And then I can start seeing some graphs. I can see any of the missing vehicle inspections that were from today. So you can see vehicle 3 and 4 haven't completed theirs yet, so I can understand that information. But then I can also see, what information, completed inspections for the last 90 days. Again, you can define, what you're actually looking at here in a little more detail. So you can see what needs to be repaired on vehicle 2. And I can go through and I can see that there was some defective stuff and request for repair on this certain information. You can see there's the trailer. You can see that I can see that what needs confirmation and such based upon that. So there's a lot of different things you can do here to kind of really utilize the information that was created from the mobile devices, and then at a management level or a back office level, review that information on a regular basis to have that at your fingertips also. So that's just another piece here that that I'm sharing with you. I'm just going to switch gears back to my. So the last thing I want to show you here is the ability to make these changes yourselves and then import these or deploy these to the devices in the field. So I'm going to make just a minor change in one of these applications and show you the ability on how we can utilize that. So the app that I just showed you was the DVI app, and this is kind of what is making up those apps. There's a bunch of different little apps within the complete application, but you can see the ability to go into each of these things like the main menu and actually see what that looks like as a design feature. So what you're looking at here is the design screen, and how I can see, the different icons on here for the page. If I wanted to get rid of any of those types of that information, I can do that. I could add, my own steps and tools from here, so I can drag an image on here and utilize this as, some different pictures that I may have. This could be your logo there. We can get rid of the MobileFrame information, etc. And I can do a lot of things here with this type of application based upon that. So, I've made a quick change to this application. I can quickly go in and save this application and refresh this. So I have my projects that are refreshed. And then when I go out to my device again, you can see that one project is refreshed. And you should see these little arrows down below here kick off that's saying that information is coming in. And if I just click out of the home screen here for a second, I should be able to see those updates. Checking for changes. Go back into the main menu, and you can see there are my changes. So I just quickly made a change to that application myself internally and deployed that. Obviously it's a very simple change, but it gives you the idea of how quickly we can turn around changes to these applications and how quickly and how easy it is for you to kind of manage that internally yourself. So you can, we provide you training on that, videos, etc. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get up to speed and kind of manage how you want to manage those types of things. Another cool feature is the ability to we have the ability to roll back information. So here I have app history, and you can see here I just freshened the project at 327, and I want to be able to roll that back to version 20. I have the ability to do that, so I can roll back to this version and say yes to that and save that information, refresh that information again. And then I'll refresh that project, as you can see. And those arrows should kick off again with more information. And if I go back to the main screen here and check for changes again, it should be rolling back to the original main menu, and you can see there's the changes we took. So the icon is gone, the MobileFrame piece is gone, etc. So very simple, but I think it gets the point across in terms of what you can do to kind of manage some of those things. So, we have the ability to utilize again, all of the applications that I've showed you, here, and you can, make changes to those, use those as a base application, make changes to those applications, and deploy them yourselves, or you can start from scratch and work, in your own, as a new app, and create your own applications based upon that if you want to also. So I can go into my design screen and I can say that I'm going to utilize any handheld device. I can, establish a new layout. I can say this is for a device. I can say this is for an iPhone, iPad, iPad mini, etc. And it'll automatically pick up the resolution, the size of the screen, and the landscape and portrait modes that I want to utilize based upon that. Then I can then start creating steps for my new application if I wanted to. So I can, drag an image over here and put that image back that I was using before. I can put date and timestamp fields. You can see here with a calendar date. So when I open the app, it's part of that. I can utilize photo capabilities. I want to be able to take a photo, signature capture. I can highlight all of these and format those to align tops, bottom, distribute vertically, all those things to kind of help with that. There's different styles and tools that you can use. I can create a function button, call this a save button, and put that at the bottom here. So there's a lot of different things you can do to kind of help, create your own applications based upon that. Do I want to add a barcode? Do I want to add grids, etc.? There's a lot of different ways. A text field, so I can have a text field here where maybe it's the days of the week. And that text field can be a drop-down list only. And if it is, I can create my own values, etc., or I can pull those values from another database. There's a lot of different things I can do to kind of manage that. This is the one I want. I can define that more. So, if I want to set up a workflow to say, if I'm doing if days of the week equals Monday, and then I can say, I want to add a pop-up message to say, enter time cards when they select Monday. So if day of the week equals Monday and I select Monday, display this message, enter time cards, and then end that portion of it. So little things like that, you can set up different workflows to kind of manage that process. But once I'm ready to save that information, I can save this. It should be at the bottom here, my new app, and I can then deploy this project and create a new project and bring that app in. Activate it, add that new app 3, say that I'm going to deploy that to a certain user. So we'll just say a driver. And we'll freshen that up. So now when I go back out to the actual main menu, I can go back and go to my home screen, and I should be able to check for new apps. There's my new app at the bottom. If I click that, you can see there's my Eklund Granger. So if I select the date field, it allows me to put the date in. and say done. I can take a photo here, brings up the photo camera automatically. I can use that photo. I can do a signature capture here like we did. And if I select days of the week Monday, it should bring up a pop-up message like it does. I hit OK, then I hit save. So that's just a very simple application, but it gives you the idea of some of the different things you can do within the application to kind of help manage some of the base applications that we have off the shelf. Like I showed you, the DVIR, with the portal, the mobile app, or the dispatch app, you have access to all that, and then you can make your appropriate changes from there. So that's kind of what I really wanted to show you today, Marcus. I'm not sure what happened, why you couldn't make it today, but I did record this, and I'm going to send this off to you now, and would love to have a further discussion with you from that, and see if this makes sense for you, or if you needed to see more information. Just kind of walk through after you've viewed the video itself and kind of go from there. So I appreciate your feedback, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon, and we'll kind of go from there. Thanks.